I'm Sarah Gore, and this is Open House. We tour a loft apartment that combines ancient design traditions with cutting-edge technology. And we check out this successful fashion designer's elegant Brooklyn abode. Designer Estee Stanley celebrates laid-back living in this inviting Los Angeles home. Plus, how this dapper designer brought modern touches to this traditional estate in Connecticut. But before all that, we visit this architectural gem in the hills of Bel Aire that's so much more than its views.
I can imagine that anyone who stays here might actually feel like the king of the mountain.
Welcome to Open House. Today we're coming to you from this impressive 33-foot wide mansion in New York's Sutton Place neighborhood. It's filled with the kind of classic and luxurious design details that make you feel like you've stepped into Gilded Age New York. As you step in through the stately front door, you're greeted by this double-height foyer that connects all the main spaces on the entertaining level. The layout is a throwback in all the right ways, where every space is defined and serves a purpose. The sprawling great room, the intimate dining room with its own terrace, there's even a library. And let's not forget the master suite, which occupies the entire third floor, one of 5 bedrooms in the home. Oh, and it also happens to have a garden and a roof terrace where you can enjoy one of the more iconic views in the entire city. So care to test your real estate acumen? What do you think the asking price on this well over 9,500 square foot mansion is? We'll reveal it at the end of the show, but in the meantime, we are taking your guesses on all the usual social media suspects at Open House TV. We are getting started in Bel Aire at an architectural gem designed by architect Zoltan Pali. He took advantage of the beautiful hillside location by actually designing the home in a Y shape that allows for indoor-outdoor living from virtually every area of the home. But innovative design aside, it also has to be comfortable, inviting, and livable. See what he did.
Hello there, my name is Zoltan Pali. I am principal of SPF Architects, and welcome to the Orm Road House project. When you first come to the house, you notice that it has a unique shape. It's kind of the shape of a Y, and the reason we did that is to create 3 different yard types. They are connected visually, but they are clearly 3 distinctive spaces. The plan of the house really allows a sort of intimacy to occur. Within the middle of the Y, we located the central stairway, which connects all 3 levels. You always know where you're at. You're always connected to the other spaces. That, to me, creates intimacy. Here we are within the living room, and this is a prime example of what most of the spaces feel and read like. It has views on all 3 sides. You're always walking around the edge of the house. This is how you're mostly connected to the exterior. The way I see it is when you're moving through the house. If you follow the lines of the house, you are not only connected to the exterior, you're also connected to everything that you pass by, and of course you end up at the kitchen and in the family area. On the upper level is really the sleeping quarters. It's the family. There's a master, there's a mini master, and then there's 3 other bedrooms. Within the mini master, one view of it looks toward the Getty Center. We were able to position a freestanding tub that looks right out at the Getty, and we call it the Getty tub. Master suite is a 2,000 square foot, basically one large volume, where the bed, the closets, the bathroom elements, the tub, everything kind of floats within that space. And the master itself, too, becomes part of the exterior when you want it to be, by the use of the sort of sliding doors that go away into the pocket. I can imagine that anyone who stays here might actually feel like the king of the mountain. Out here was really designed as a reflection or a continuation of the interior. You'll notice that the patterning and the way the pool is shaped is mimicking the shape of the house. The upper floor overhangs to create a shaded area by which to sit under at the same time while relaxing. And the whole idea was to feel like you're floating above the city and then view and see the Santa Monica Bay in the distance. I think what we try to achieve here is a strong blend between architecture and livability. Hey, we put a lot of love into this place. We hope you've enjoyed it and hope to see you next time.
Stick around because when we come back, we learn how this designer brought ultra-modern touches to the classic design and layout of his client's Connecticut home. Welcome back. Now we're in New Canaan, Connecticut with the ever-dapper designer Corey Damon Jenkins. Check out how he brought pizzazz to the more traditional aspects of the home by incorporating color and pattern in surprising ways.
Hello there, I am Corey Damon Jenkins. I'm an interior designer based in Detroit and New York City, and welcome to my client's home here in New Canaan, Connecticut. I would describe my design aesthetic as a fresh continental mix of elegance and modernity, a new take on traditional. This project enabled me to explore that very design philosophy. Let's take a closer look. All living rooms should be functional, comfortable, stylish, and cozy, but in order to make it memorable, you have to have something different, something fresh, off the beaten path. I chose a very soft mint-colored wall covering for this space. This selection of wall covering had a great outcome. The fireplace really pops, as well as the wall brackets over the sofa. Of course, the biggest anchor in this room is the sofa, which we cover in this beautiful lavender-colored linen. And the tucked back gives it that traditional flair, obviously, but then we put this layering of pillows and lumbars and things of that nature to give it some depth and some energy in this space. Originally, this table, this cocktail table, was a black chimraserie Asian piece. To keep things different, I decided to dip it in white lacquer paint, and it gives a nice juxtaposition against the sofa as the main anchor in the room. The first thing you notice in the dining room is the mirrored wall finish. When I'm doing traditional design, I like to take it to a place where the room is not taking itself too seriously. The dining room chairs and table were a set. I'm not always a fan of sets of furniture, so to give this particular project a new spin, we took the side chairs and we dipped them once again in white lacquer paint. And they really pop and contrast brightly against these dark stained floors. With good interior design, it's important not to always throw the baby out with the bathwater. So in this dining room, the chandelier was already here. It was gorgeous, like a piece of jewelry hanging in the space. This open concept space includes the kitchen, the breakfast nook, and the family room. This is the most fashion-forward space because of the usage of patterns and textures. For example, check out this chair. Very traditional frame, and yet this very modern aesthetic with the fabric here by Kelly Wearstler gives it a bit of a punch. So with pattern play, you have to be very judicious with scale. That way it doesn't give you vertigo when you walk into the space. So with this Killam chair, for example, this fabric here is very large in life as far as the scale of the pattern, but then you temper it with a more sedated pattern selection. And in this way, the room flows and it's not overdone. And as for the breakfast nook, the first thing you notice is the oversized lighting. My motif, go big or go home. And you can see it all the way from the dining room. I also dipped the side chairs in a light gray paint to contrast them brightly against the farmhouse table that my clients have had for years. It's all about subtlety, and yet you still make a great statement with those little finishing touches. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of my client's home here in New Canaan, Connecticut. This project really proves that you can take the best of the past and remix it for today.
Stick around when we come back, how this designer maximized the visual interest in every inch of her Hancock Park home. We'll see you in just a few. You're watching Open House. Now we're in the Hancock Park section of LA at the home of interior designer Estee Stanley. Check out how she maximized visual interest in every corner of this 1920s home, celebrating warmth, comfort, and of course, style.
Hi, I'm Estee Stanley. I'm an interior designer. I live in Los Angeles, California. This is my home. When I originally bought this, it was a duplex. I lived upstairs. One day, my husband and I decided to move the tenants on out and build our dream house. And we remodeled this 1920s home, and I want to take you on a tour. So let's go. Here we are in my living room. So what I did this last year was I added the new fireplace mantle and the wood molding. A great way to alleviate the itch of wanting to move is a quick paint job and sometimes adding crown moldings to any room. Another thing I needed to do was delete this wall in order for it to hold up the building. I put these bricks in and arched them because I thought that that really felt like of the time of this home. So this is my family room. This room, when I was designing it, I wanted it to feel a little bit different than the rest of the house. I wanted it to feel like super warm and cozy and have different hues of kind of a lilac color. So I found a bunch of different hues and fabrics and the paint color and kind of tried to mix it all together and make it feel like just very peaceful in here. I also added these lights from Urban Electric. I thought those were very different. They feel more modern and more aggressive. Obviously, the most important piece in this room is my cabinet filled with my treasures. These were items that I kind of borrowed, I guess, from different hotels or places that I've been in my life, and I wanted to put them in this beautiful cabinet and display them. So now that you've seen the downstairs, let's go up those stairs that I turned around and show you the master bedroom. This was the upstairs living room, and now it's my master. The one thing I really loved so much about this room was the beams. We don't have beams anywhere else in the home. This was the only room that had them, and when I saw them, I knew this had to be where I slept. The only original thing left in this house is this fireplace. I felt like it was so of the time, and it was so beautiful that it was the only thing that I left here when I ripped up this house. Another unique space in this home is my closet. It used to be a bedroom, but I decided to change it into my dressing room where all me and my girls can hang out. Everyone knows California's 100% indoor-outdoor living, and my house is no exception. We go swimming, we have friends over, this backyard is usually filled with people and fun and love. I built these really big walls to keep the looky-loos out. It's a really great space to relax, soak up nature in the privacy of your own home. Thank you so much for coming on my home tour with me. I hope you enjoyed my eclectic, whimsical, fun side of interior design. And if you're ever invited over here, please don't steal my stuff.
We have so much more ahead, including this beautifully curated Brooklyn apartment of designer Adam Lippis. And if you're still curious about what the price of this well over 9,500 square foot mansion in Sutton Place is, well, we'll reveal it at the end of the show. But in the meantime, guess away. Go ahead, flex that real estate muscle. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Open House. Now we're in Brooklyn Heights with fashion designer Adam Lippis. Adam's home is a distinct melange of the classic and the eclectic, reflecting the confident elegance of his aesthetic. See how?
Hi, my name is Adam Lippis. I'm a fashion designer based here in New York City. Welcome to my home in Brooklyn Heights. The building was built in the mid-1800s by the man who actually developed all of Brooklyn Heights. The best thing about the building is it's right on the East River, so we have this incredible view of downtown Manhattan. You walk into the living room, and the first thing you're hit with is this crazy rug. It's floral, there are birds. It's actually a Portuguese needlepoint rug from the 1940s. The first thing that drew me to the rug was the scale. The second thing was the pattern and color. Again, I'm a fashion designer, so I love pattern and color. I found a Russian 19th century cabinet at auction. From that cabinet, I moved to a desk. The desk is Swedish, 18th century. Most of the seating is Swedish as well, from the Gustavian period. The round sofa, I actually designed it and had it made here in New York. There's trim on it, and that comes from a fashion designer from the 50s. The classic name for the sofa is a tête-à-tête, which means head-to-head in French. I love lighting, but I don't like a lot of lighting. So there's a lamp on the floor that's quite tall, then there's a small lamp on a table, then there is a lamp for a picture over a cabinet. So there are different levels of lights. Before you get to the bedroom on the left, there is a seating area, sort of a lounge, which is the best place in the house to sit back, lay down, watch TV, or read a book. It might be the most bold room in the house. The walls are covered in a chinoiserie patterned linen. I carry this pattern onto the sofas. The room is not very big, so instead of a coffee table, I took a prayer bench from an English monastery and put it down the center of the room. There was a great 6-panel Japanese screen in the bedroom. There was a very grand tented bed in that room. The bed is actually in the middle of the room. It's floating in the space. Instead of bedside tables, there are 2 bar carts on either side of the bed. It's so fun, the idea of having a bar cart there in case I want to have a drink in bed. And they serve every purpose that every bedside table would, from books to my lamps. And of course, I can't forget the lighting. There is a picture light, there are bedside lamps, there's a floor lamp, again creating all of these areas. As a fashion designer, I love interior design because it allows me to play not on a form. I can play in real sort of 3D space. So I feel like it gives me a lot of freedom. I hope my home has inspired you to mix and match, and most of all, just have fun. Thank you so much for coming.
Don't go anywhere. You are not going to want to miss our next home that promotes wellness by design. Sounds good to me. Welcome back. Now we're at this minimalist masterpiece in New York's Chelsea neighborhood. It was created by globe-trotting designer and architect Claudia, the founder and principal of her eponymous firm. Claudia's projects always embrace feng shui, sustainability, and as she calls it, wellness by design. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Claudia. I'm the CEO and founder of a multidisciplinary design company in the Flatiron district. I decided to design for people to give them everything that they need, but nothing more than what they need. This loft captures all the precepts that I practice in design. So I'd like to show you around. Let's take a look and you'll see what it's all about. A natural sequence for us is that after taking your shoes off in the vestibule, you move into the living room. We chose the sofa for comfort. Nobody in our studio is allowed to specify a chair or a sofa unless they've actually sat in it. People feel most comfortable if all the elements appear in a project. So metal is one of the elements, wood is one of the elements. Both are grounding. We nearly always have some kind of green because biophilia heals people. It's the positive effect, particularly of the jade plants. Also, the silent weight of a piece of stone sculpture is extremely grounding. So follow me to the dining room, where we'll look at another place where people can gather, converse, and have fun. I designed this area for multifunction. You can dine here, you can play your piano here, you can have a crowd of people. The table is a massive slice of live-edged black walnut. The entire table is grounded by a massive art wall. It's made of tiles that you can actually unhang and switch to change the color. And I placed the dining room table underneath the skylight because I always want to take full advantage of any light we can get. Light is a precious gift if you live in the city. The staircase not only serves as a stage for speakers, but it also leads to a massive roof garden. And there are amazing views of Manhattan. We hung a light, which is like a net, encrusted with crystals, as the stairs meet the skylight. What happens is then that the light hits the crystals and spatters the whole stairwell there with little specks of light. A home is like a good striptease artist who reveals a little bit at a time, but not all at It's okay if you say wow when you walk into a lobby. When you go into your bedroom, you should say, ah. Here, this bedroom has nothing in it but the bed, end tables, reading lights, and that's it. You come in and you sleep. That's what it's for. Love and sleep. Underfoot, there's a very soft carpet in a kind of Weimaraner gray, which is one of my favorite colors and favorite dogs. The greatest gift I can get as a designer is when clients tell me that they're really enjoying their home, every aspect of it. I hope this tour has given you a chance to see how design can enhance people's lives. As we say in Ireland, Garacéad míle maith agus slán live Bel Aire.
Well, we promised to reveal the price of this elegant Sutton Place mansion boasting over 9,500 square feet of classic New York luxury. But any last-minute guesses? Well, here it is. Were your estimates close? Let us know on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at Open House TV. Thanks for watching. Like what you see on the show? Well, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We have so many more beautiful homes to share. It's all about love. Share these homes, you know?